If we talk more specifically about measuring these things, you can see we're going to talk about actually measuring GDP, then we'll talk about growth, which is change in GDP over time. The business cycle, again, looking at a change in GDP over time, but what we see is that in fact it's not always growing, sometimes it's kind of going backwards, sometimes it's declining. And we refer to that phenomenon as the business cycle. Another thing we want to measure is unemployment, and another thing is inflation, right? You'll see that these are in fact, the reason we're looking at GDP, unemployment, and inflation is because those are the key components of the economy that we're interested in. GDP, if you remember in Mankiw's 10 principles, he said that the way we live better is by producing more stuff. So therefore, we want to know how much stuff are we producing? It's GDP. Okay? When we produce that stuff, it gets exchanged between people. And the way that it gets exchanged is through a medium of exchange we call money. So we want to know not only about what we're producing, but how much it's costing and how much the cost of something is changing over time, which is then inflation. Okay? And then unemployment is because when we talk about the production of GDP, which we will do, we talk about the factors that go into production. In our circular flow diagram, we had labor, we had capital, we had buildings, we had entrepreneurship. The factor that we care about the most in general is people in that production process and how many people we're using, how well we are using them, how we could use them better, things like that. And so unemployment then becomes an important question, which is quite an important question in South Africa at the moment. I would hope you have kind of picked up, right? If we talk about biggest problem facing South Africa today, arguably, high unemployment. Okay, also high inequality, sure, but a lot of the world has high inequality. A lot of the world has high inequality and doesn't have our unemployment problem. Our unemployment problem is big. When we go to measuring unemployment, you'll see just how big. Anyone know how or what the unemployment figure is now approximately? How many people are unemployed? What percentage? Anyone got a hand? Anyone? No? Just people touching their hair? Yeah. 85.0. Oh, 25.0. Yeah, okay, so our official figure is somewhere around that mark. I think it's actually a little bit higher now. I think it's closer to 30. I'm not sure. That is the narrow definition of unemployment. So in other words, 1 in 4 people unemployed is what you think that unemployment measure means. No. What it means is 1 in 4 of the people that could be working are not employed. People that could not be working include yourself because you're studying. Take the entire school population, doesn't include those people. Right? Anyone who's retired doesn't include them. Anyone in prison doesn't include them. Okay? 1 in 4 people that could be working are not working. If you are in fact not working and not even looking for a job, you are not included in the 1 in 4 people that are not working. So if you looked for a job and then gave up and said, I'm never going to find a job, I'm going to sit at home and live all social benefits, you are not counted as being unemployed. But we'll get to that.